Hi, thank you for listening. This audio is called Working with Your Clairsentience. If you do not know what clairsentience is, then I recommend you listen to the other videos that I've recorded about clairsentience where I get into explaining in depth what clairsentience is and how it manifests. For those of you who have already listened to those videos and you're ready to get started, that's what this audio is for. I've received often many emails and comments from those of you who are manifesting clairsentience and who are like ready to take that next step. You're ready to work with your clairsentience, learn how to use it to communicate. So this audio is for the purpose of getting you started. Okay, first of all, we could call this a kind of, you're going to practice becoming more sensitive. Now, some of you may be at the high end of the scale as far as being, sensitive with your clairsentience, meaning you say something and you're getting signals via your clairsentience about what you've said. And you may be living in a way where it is constantly on and you're constantly feeling things. Okay, now I have gotten some emails from some of you that are still a little bit getting empathy confused with clairsentience. So to make it easier, for those of you that are experiencing something where you're picking up more emotions than anything, Empath Training is what you need. So if that's what you have going on, you're more picking up what's going on with people's emotions, not what's going on with them physically, or you're not getting you're not getting feelings, you're getting emotional feelings. You're getting more, I feel energy in my right knee, or I feel energy in my left knee, or I feel energy in the bottom of my foot, or I feel this energy sensation on the right side of my neck, or I feel like somebody's holding my left ear. If that's what you're getting, then clairsentience is what you have going on. However, if in describing what you have going on, you are describing picking up others' emotional states, then you need to look into Empath Training. And I do have many posts and articles written that are specifically geared toward Empath Training from start to finish. So just go to my main website, sherryandrea.com, and you will see in the categories that there's an actual category that says how to become a skilled empath. Okay, so for those of you where clairsentience is in fact what you have going on, let's get started. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to need you to do is, and this is very easy, keep a journal. Go to the store, buy either a single subject notebook or even a 3-subject or 5-subject notebook, whatever you prefer. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Buy a notebook to keep a journal. Or if you prefer, keep your journal on the computer in using Word document or something. The reason why it's important is because as you grow and advance, it does help to kind of have some place to write down things you're picking up, because today you may pick up something that it's not clear to you what it is you're getting, what it means. However, later on down the road, it may become clear to you, may get the sensation again, and based on the similarities of what you had going on at the time, it's going to help you piece together what the meaning is, what you're picking up really is trying to tell you. So, this isn't, even though I said to keep a journal, this doesn't require that you write in the journal every day about your feelings or whatever, or, how your day went, how your sister or brother pissed you off. And that's not what I'm talking about. Just keeping a journal where you can keep track of the experiences as you have them. Believe me, you will forget. It doesn't seem like you'll forget at the time, but you will forget. Okay, so that's number one. Second thing is what you need to start doing daily, every day, is take some time, even if it's only like 15 minutes. And I need you to do actually two things. You need to at least meditate 15 minutes a day. A non-passive meditation, and what I mean by that is where you're not trying to think of anything, where you're trying to have no thoughts, and where you're just trying to get to a deep state. One of the easiest ways to try to achieve a deeper state of meditation is to attempt to achieve a meditative state where you can't feel your body anymore, where you try to achieve a state where you feel your true nature, which is that of being the spirit, your own, how you truly exist. So often when I do that, I try to feel myself as being a ball of light, where I'm trying to feel like I'm not within a body, but where I'm trying to feel myself as just a ball of light, of energy, for 15 minutes a day. Okay, the next thing I want you to do, and you need to at least spend 15 minutes a day doing this. And you could do this sitting, or you could do this laying down. Whatever way you feel most comfortable is fine. Okay, I need you to sit or lay down, get comfortable. Then what you're going to begin doing is you're going to begin focusing on a certain area of your body. Let's say, for example, your right foot. And to begin with, I want you to attempt to focus on and send energy to your right foot. And do this. Now, while you're doing it, you do need to be in a relaxed state. So even if it takes you like a few minutes, lay down, do some pranic breathing for, a minute or two, but get into a relaxed state first. Because see, when clairsentience is happening, when any psychic ability is happening, it's at a certain level. It is usually at an alpha level. So it's at a slightly relaxed state. Now I could be in an alpha state right now. Most times I am. But that is because of the practice that I've done. Many people who have practiced years of meditation find it easy to go through their day being in an alpha state. They feel like they're wide awake, but still they're in a slightly lowered brainwave activity state. And that's what you need to do. Now, in the beginning, you're going to have to purposely put yourself there by taking a few minutes to relax and get into that state. Eventually, you'll be able to get to that state easily, and sometimes just stay in that state for long periods of time without any conscious effort to have to do so. I liken it to training your brain about where you want to be, training your brain how to get to this state. It's like giving someone directions. If I drive you to a certain place enough times, you're going to learn how to get there, so that if you had to drive your own self there, you'd know how to get there. This is what you're kind of doing with your own brain. You're training your brain how to get to this place, and that this is the place where you want to be. So after you've relaxed, you feel good and relaxed, focus on trying to send energy to a specific part of your body. Now, let me warn you, if you practice this for, I don't care, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 2 weeks, please be careful about being too quick to say it's not working. To say anything is not working is based on your expectations. To say something is not working or to say something didn't work for you, I would then have to ask you, what were your expectations? Obviously, if you feel something didn't work for you, that means it's not that it didn't work, it didn't meet your expectations of what you expected. Be very careful about that, because you should have no preconceived notion about this and no expectations about this. This is something new to you. Maybe you've never done it before. You should have no expectations. So, you need to go into things like this clear of expectations. Because if you don't, sometimes your expectations, your preconceived notions can mess you up. They can have you throwing in the towel and saying, oh, this doesn't work, before you've given it a chance to actually work. For everyone, it's different. Some people, the very first time they do this, they will be able to do it. For others, it will take them a little bit longer. There are reasons why, which I'm not going to get into, but cut yourself some slack. Anything worth gaining, anything worth having is worth that time it's going to take to get there. So practice a little patience. This is something that you need to practice anyway. You need to practice patience, tolerance. So this will be a good time to do that. Okay, so I want you, if you are able to direct energy to filling it in one specific part of your body, now feel free to utilize your higher self when you're doing this. Talk to your higher self. Tell your higher self, okay, I want you to send energy to my right foot. As you do this and you practice it more, you might want to get more specific, like to send energy to the big toe on your right foot, or the pinky toe on your right foot or your left foot. Or you may want to get specific about feeling energy maybe on the bottom of your foot. Or maybe you want to try the ask your higher self to make you feel the sensation of your ear being held, your right ear or your left ear. Now, let me tell you one other thing that you're going to need to know. The amount of time that it takes for me to feel energy, it's not instantaneous always. Many times when I'm talking to my higher self, or if I feel like, say, I called on Archangel Michael to come forward, and I ask a question, you have to be patient when it comes to the amount of time that it takes to receive the answer. Our main problem as humans is that we do expect things quickly. Be patient, because when it comes to energy, this energy has to come into your body and it has to move to a specific area. And I can tell you, that process happens faster the higher your vibrations are. The lower your vibrations are, it happens a little bit slower, it takes a little bit more time. How clear you are, whether you have connections, also affects how quickly you will feel it and how strongly you will feel it. So, if you're practicing this and one day you say to yourself, it's just, I'm feeling it, but it seems very dim, barely there. I can barely feel it. I can feel it, but it's barely there. You probably have some connections that you've picked up thinking about people, talking to people thinking and talking to you. Clear yourself. Visualize, close your eyes, visualize that there's cords energetic cords leading from you to other people. Visualize yourself taking a knife or a sword and cutting those connections, cutting those cords. Visualize seeing the people that are connected to those cords floating up and away from you. Do this 3 times. You should end up, once it's successfully done, feeling a little bit lighter. That's one of the ways. If you're clairsentient, you should be able to feel this. It's one of the ways you can feel when the disconnect actually happens. Because connections that you have will affect how you're able to sense things. For example, I'm also an empath. So often when I'm connected to another person, especially if at the time they have a lot going on, I feel less of myself and more of them. So when I want to work with my higher self, or I want to call on one of the angels or ascended masters and I want to do some work, I need to clear myself first. I need to clear myself and I need to ground first. So those are going to be things that you're going to have to get used to doing. And quite often, if you are also an empath, remember, empaths become ungrounded constantly, easily. If you want to get a crystal that helps you stay grounded, like obsidian, onyx, a lot of the black stones are good for grounding, hematite, of course. If that helps you stay grounded, then maybe do that. Keep one of these crystals in your pocket. If you are an empath and you have a problem always being connected to someone, consider keeping a citrine crystal on you. That will keep you clear. It'll help keep you from picking up connections. So remember that what you're able to sense is also affected by how clear you are, whether you have connections. You have to ground yourself and clear yourself before you can really feel energy at its strongest. Also, meditate daily. It's absolutely necessary because you need to raise your vibrations and keep your vibrations up. How high your vibrations are is how well you can sense and feel energy. So, okay, that's going to get you started. So you could think of that as a part 1, as being able to direct energy to certain parts of your body, and or to work with your higher self and ask your higher self to do certain things, like let me feel energy in my left knee. Or here's another question. Ask your higher self, what will you have me feel if you are trying to tell me that my thinking about something is on the right path? Then sit quietly, passively, and wait to see what you feel. This should sound familiar to some of you. This should remind you of working with the pendulum because it is very similar. Whenever you use a pendulum, you start off by holding the pendulum and asking, which way will you swing for a yes? Which way will you swing for a no? Which way will you swing for a cannot answer that or I don't know? So basically what you're doing is you're working with your higher self and you're saying, higher self, if you're trying to tell me that someone is feeling great pressure in a negative way, what will you have me feel? For most of you, what you will feel is you will feel something either in your back or in your shoulders. Or you can ask your higher self, what will you have me feel if someone is having problems with controlling their emotions? What will you have me feel? Asking that question, you may feel energy in your stomach below your belly button. You may feel energy in your sacral chakra. It helps to know when you're doing this, what the different chakras do. The reason why is because every now and then that is what you'll feel. You may feel a certain chakra associated with a question you asked or with a person. And to be able to know what you're being told, you would need to know, what does that chakra govern? You know, does it govern the emotions? Is it the crown chakra? So maybe you're being told that that person is at a certain spiritual level, or maybe they're working on their spirituality. So it does help. And see, right now, as I say that, I am getting strong energy in my right foot. That is telling me that what I'm saying is true. If I was getting in my lower right leg, that would tell me I'm on the right path. But instead, when I'm getting energy in my feet, like my right foot, that's telling me that what I'm saying is absolutely true. For me, my feet stand for truth, stand for right versus wrong. So often my feet are used to tell me that I am either, what I'm speaking is a truth, or what I'm speaking is wrong. I can be wrong. And my clairsentience usually tells me if I've said something or explained something in a way that is not right. And I use that. If I'm doing a coaching session or I'm speaking to somebody, when I get that, I will then stop and say, no, that's not right. What I just said isn't right. And I will try to use my clairsentience to correct myself and to get it right. This is one of the wonderful ways clairsentience can be used. So you have enough to start with and to practice with. In the journal, if you are going to be asking questions that are such as, what will you, higher self, what will you have me feel if what I'm saying is right? What will you have me feel if I need to rethink something? If you're going to be asking questions like that, then you definitely need to use your journal to keep track of what you're being told, certain sensations mean. Because I'll tell you now, there are thousands of things you can feel in thousands of different ways. You could feel it strongly. You could feel it weakly. You could feel it as heat. You could feel it as cold. You could feel it as a kind of calm energy. You could also feel it as a painful energy, as though somebody has just stuck you with the hugest pin. There are so many different ways you could feel energy. So you really have to start what you can refer to as a translation dictionary. And that's the question I get most often, is from people who have clairsentience, is, okay, now how do I know what I'm getting means? How do I know what it means? There is no easy way. You have to basically do the work to establish your translation dictionary. This is the same exact thing that anyone has to do if they have clairvoyance, clairaudience, psychic smell, psychic hearing, psychic smell, psychic taste. It is the same. They all have to establish a translation dictionary. You've heard mediums say, oh, when I'm being shown this, it means this. That is them using their translation dictionary, which they've had to establish. And it wasn't easy. It took, for some of them, some of the psychics you see on TV, it took them years to establish a translation dictionary. So understand the work you have in front of you, and every day spend just a little bit of time working on it, and before long, you will be a pro at using your clairsentience to understand things you're being told, to communicate, to understand what a person who is speaking to you and telling you something has going on, from not just whether or not they're telling you the truth to what the real truth is. So take your time with it. And don't forget, grounding, meditating, cutting your cords and the connections to yourself, all of these things are so very important to you being able to use your clairsentience and be able to use it and sense things well and strong enough for you to determine what it is you're sensing. The sky's the limit. Try not to think inside of a box. Whatever you come up with, if you come up with a new idea for practicing and you are asking yourself, well, I wonder if this will work. Of course it'll work. The sky's the limit. You're not living within inside a box. Get outside of the box. Always remember to tell yourself to live outside of the box, where everything and anything is possible, and you'll do really well. Well, thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, if there's anything that I've talked about that you need clarification on, then feel free to email me at Sherry, SHERRY, at Sherry Andrea, ANDREA.com. Also, I recommend you go to my website, sherryspeaks.com, which is a membership site. There is a free part of it, and then there is a part of it that is a paid membership. Access to everything is only $1.99 a month. I have a blog there. I have a journal, my own personal journal there. The forum is there. If you sign up just for free membership, you will be able to also access and take part in the forum. That's free. And this is a good way to communicate with others, ask questions, learn, or share what you've learned. Share your experiences, because through sharing our experiences, this is how we can learn and we can grow. And I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you, and I hope that it was helpful to you.